When we talk about wealth, most people immediately think about money, assets, or the size of a bank account. But the truth is, the foundation of wealth, the thing that precedes every financial success, every breakthrough, is the mind. It is the lens through which we see the world. A poor mindset sees walls, a rich mindset sees doors. And understanding this difference is crucial because everything we experience, our actions, our relationships, our achievements emanates from our thoughts first. A person with a poor mindset lives in a world of scarcity. Scarcity is not just a lack of resources, it is a mental condition, a constant feeling that there is never enough. There is never enough time, enough money, enough opportunities. This perspective teaches you to fear risk, to cling to what you have, and to resist change. The poor mindset whispers, be careful, protect yourself, don't aim too high. It feeds on limitation. It convinces the person that the world is out to take from them, that luck favors others, that opportunity is rare and fleeting. And because we think this way, we behave this way. We hesitate, we settle, we wait for life to hand us permission instead of creating our own path. Contrast that with the rich mindset, a mindset of abundance. Abundance does not mean having unlimited resources. It means believing in the possibility of growth, in the potential for creation. The rich mindset recognizes that opportunities are not finite, they multiply when acted upon. People with this mindset see challenges as invitations to innovate, to learn, to expand. They understand that the world is not a zero-sum game where someone else's gain is their loss. Instead, they believe that their effort, creativity, and perseverance can generate something extraordinary. Where scarcity sees a brick wall, abundance sees a door waiting to be opened. Psychologists often talk about the self-fulfilling prophecy, and it is deeply relevant here. If you wake up every day convinced that life is harsh and opportunities are rare, your mind will unconsciously steer you toward decisions that confirm that belief. You'll avoid risks, miss chances, and end up trapped in a loop that reinforces your fears. Conversely, if you believe in possibility, your brain starts to scan the environment for opportunities, for solutions, for openings that align with your goals. Your mindset does not just affect your thoughts, it shapes your reality. What you believe about life often becomes what life delivers. Consider the philosophical dimension for a moment. For centuries, thinkers have explored the idea that perception precedes reality. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoics, reminded us that it is not events that disturb us, but the judgment we place on them. Similarly, a mindset of scarcity interprets neutral events as threats. A missed promotion becomes evidence of inadequacy. A financial setback becomes proof that the system is against you. But a mindset of abundance frames the same events differently. Failure is feedback, challenge is opportunity, scarcity is a prompt to innovate. The material world may remain the same, but the inner lens transforms everything. It is also important to understand that shifting your mindset is not about pretending that life is fair or denying reality. Rich-minded individuals are not naive, they are clear-eyed. They acknowledge limitations but refuse to be paralyzed by them. They recognize that obstacles exist, but they focus on what can be done, on what they can influence. Scarcity narrows vision, abundance expands it. And when vision expands, action follows. The rich mindset generates confidence, courage, and creativity. It allows a person to step into opportunities that others might overlook or dismiss. You might think, well, I am not rich, I can't think like that. But the beauty of this truth is that mindset is not inherited, it is chosen. Every day you decide whether you see the world through scarcity or abundance. Every decision you make, every thought you nurture either reinforces one or the other. Start small, notice your language, your reactions, your assumptions. Do you immediately think, I can't do this, or do you ask, how can I make this work? Do you fixate on limitations, or do you explore possibilities? These choices made consistently reshape not just your thinking, but your trajectory. So, as we reflect on this, remember this: wealth begins in the mind long before it appears in the bank account. Scarcity traps you in fear, and stagnation, abundance, opens the door to creativity, growth, and fulfillment. Your external world is often a reflection of your internal world. Change your thoughts, and you change the way life responds to you. And here is the takeaway I want you to carry with you. Every time you find yourself fearing lack, questioning possibility, or doubting your ability to grow, pause and ask, am I seeing a wall or am I seeing a door? The answer to that question will determine not just your choices today, but the life you build tomorrow. The richest people you know are not those with the biggest accounts, they are those whose minds saw possibilities where others saw limitations. Your mindset is the currency of your life, spend it wisely. We often underestimate the power of responsibility in shaping the life we want. It's easy to point fingers, to blame the economy, our upbringing, the system, or even other people for our struggles. And when we do, we feel justified. After all, if the world is at fault, we can't be expected to succeed, right? But here is the hard truth. Blaming circumstances may make you feel better in the short term, but it keeps you stuck in the long term. The poor mindset thrives in this cycle. It tells you that the world owes you, that success is about luck rather than effort, and that you are a victim of forces beyond your control. It gives you an excuse for inaction. It whispers you can't, when really it should be asking, what will you do? The rich mindset, in contrast, begins with one radical act: taking responsibility. Taking responsibility does not mean ignoring injustice or pretending that life is easy. It means acknowledging that while we cannot always control external events, we always have control over our actions, decisions, and attitudes. It means understanding that growth comes not from lamenting what has happened, but from asking, what can I do next? When we own our choices, good or bad, we reclaim power. We stop waiting for permission or validation and start building the life we want with intention and courage. Psychologists have long noted that people who adopt an internal locus of control, who believe they can influence their outcomes, tend to be more successful, more resilient, and more satisfied with their lives. On the other hand, an external locus of control, the belief that fate, luck, or other people are in charge, leads to passivity, resentment, and stagnation. Think about it. Every time you blame someone or something else for your setbacks, you are giving away your power. You are surrendering the very tool that can change your life, your response. The external world is unpredictable, messy, and often unfair. But your mind, your choices, your actions, that is where true freedom lies. Philosophically, this idea has been echoed through centuries. Epictetus, the Stoic philosopher, said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Life will present obstacles, failures, and disappointments. Some of them may be entirely beyond your control. But the moment you stop blaming and start asking, what can I do now? You transform the obstacle into an opportunity. You shift from being a passive passenger in your own life to becoming the driver of your destiny. And that is where wealth of any kind, material or personal, truly begins. Taking responsibility also requires honesty with oneself. It requires confronting uncomfortable truths, where we made mistakes, where we wasted time, where we could have acted differently. Most people avoid this kind of reflection because it hurts. Admitting failure, even privately, can feel like defeat. But it is anything but. The rich mindset embraces self-reflection as a tool for growth. Each mistake becomes a lesson, each failure a stepping stone. Instead of asking, why me, the question becomes, what next? Instead of dwelling on what went wrong, the focus shifts to how to make it right and how to move forward stronger than before. And here's the profound thing: once you take responsibility, life responds differently. Challenges no longer feel like threats, they become invitations. Obstacles no longer feel like barriers, they become teachers. When you stop blaming, you start learning, and learning always compounds. Your decisions are no longer reactive, they become deliberate. You stop being at the mercy of circumstances and you start creating circumstances that work for you. This is why so many people with fewer resources outperform those with more. They understand that it is not the situation that defines success, but the person navigating it. But let me be clear, taking responsibility does not mean you have to do everything alone, nor does it mean ignoring support, guidance, or collaboration. Even the most successful people seek mentors, communities, and allies. Responsibility is about ownership, not isolation. It is about claiming your agency, about understanding that while you may not control every event, you do control your response, your strategy, and your effort. It is the difference between a life dictated by circumstance and a life intentionally designed. So reflect on this. Every time something goes wrong, ask yourself, am I blaming or am I acting? Every time I feel stuck, am I searching for excuses or am I searching for solutions? The difference between these two questions is monumental. The first keeps you small, the second sets you free. The rich mindset is not about avoiding hardship, it is about confronting it, learning from it, and turning it into momentum. And here is the closing thought I want you to carry with you. The world will always be unpredictable, unfair, and full of challenges. But nothing and no one can take away the power of your response. Take responsibility for your life, your choices, and your actions. Stop blaming the world and start mastering it. Because when you do, you stop being a victim of circumstance and become the architect of your destiny. Your life, your wealth, your future, they are waiting for you to claim them. We live in a world that constantly tempts us with comfort. The newest gadgets, the latest fashion, instant entertainment, they promise satisfaction, even happiness. But the pursuit of comfort, when it becomes a habit, is the enemy of growth. The poor mindset seeks instant gratification. It spends time, energy, and money on things that provide fleeting pleasure. The rich mindset, on the other hand, understands that real wealth, mental, emotional, and financial, comes from deliberate investment in oneself. This is where the most profound difference between rich and poor thinking emerges. One invests for future growth, the other spends for immediate relief. Investing in yourself begins with awareness. It begins with recognizing that the most valuable asset you will ever own is not your salary, your car, or even your property. It is your mind, your skills, your health, and your character. Every hour you spend learning, every book you read, every skill you develop, every habit you cultivate compounds over time. This is the invisible currency of life. Those who understand this principle recognize that comfort is temporary, but growth lasts a lifetime. They understand that the small sacrifices of today, delaying gratification, choosing to learn instead of scroll, choosing discipline over easy-yield returns, that money alone cannot buy. Consider the psychological aspect of this. Human beings are wired for immediate reward. Evolutionarily, it was safer and easier to take what was in front of us to satisfy needs instantly rather than investing in uncertainty. But the modern world is different. Opportunities to grow, to create, to excel require delayed gratification. They require the ability to act in the present for a payoff in the future. The rich mindset is trained to embrace this delay. It understands that discomfort in the short term, sacrificing idle time, resisting distractions, is not punishment, it is preparation. It is the seed of something greater, something that will bear fruit in ways that mere comfort never can. Philosophically, the idea of investing in oneself aligns with centuries of wisdom. Socrates said that an unexamined life is not worth living, reminding us that introspection and self-improvement are the highest forms of human pursuit. Marcus Aurelius spoke about discipline, the willingness to endure challenges, and the prioritization of what truly matters over fleeting pleasure. When we invest in ourselves, we are doing more than acquiring knowledge or skill. We are cultivating character, resilience, and the capacity to navigate life's unpredictability. Every moment spent learning, reflecting, and improving is a deposit in an account that compounds exponentially, shaping the trajectory of our life. Contrast this with the comfort-seeking mindset. When life is approached as a series of comforts to accumulate, the mind atrophies. Curiosity dwindles, creativity stagnates, and courage diminishes. We become reactive rather than proactive. Spending becomes a substitute for action. Entertainment becomes a substitute for purpose. And while the world may appear easy on the surface, in reality, those who prioritize comfort over growth are slowly building invisible chains that limit their potential. They are, in effect, paying the price of inaction with years of lost opportunity. Investing in yourself also means taking calculated risks. It is not enough to simply consume knowledge passively or to admire others' success from a distance. Action is essential. The rich mindset applies knowledge, tests ideas, seeks feedback, and adapts. It does not fear mistakes because mistakes are the currency of growth. By stepping outside the comfort zone, by challenging yourself daily, you transform potential into reality. Skills, wisdom, and resilience, all of these cannot be purchased. They must be earned through conscious effort and repeated investment in yourself. This principle extends beyond skills and education. It encompasses health, emotional intelligence, and relationships. Physical and mental well-being are forms of self-investment that yield returns in energy, clarity, and longevity. Emotional intelligence, learning to manage emotions, communicate effectively, and build meaningful connections, is an investment in social capital that no amount of money can replace. Every choice to nourish your body, expand your mind, and cultivate meaningful relationships is a deposit in a future that is richer, stronger, and more resilient than any temporary comfort can provide. And here is the liberating truth: you don't need extraordinary resources to start. The smallest investments, reading for 30 minutes a day, practicing a skill consistently, reflecting on your actions, or dedicating time to your health, compound over years. The rich mindset recognizes this. It does not wait for perfect conditions or abundant resources. It acts now with what is available and trusts that consistent investment will yield extraordinary results. So reflect on this carefully. Are you building a life through temporary pleasures, or are you constructing it through deliberate, sustained investment in yourself? Every decision you make today, what you learn, how you spend your time, the habits you nurture determines the quality of your future. Comfort may feel good in the moment, but growth transforms your entire life. The difference between surviving and thriving, between scarcity and abundance, is not luck, it is the discipline to invest in yourself consistently. And here is the thought I want you to carry. Your life is the sum of the choices you make every day. Choose to invest in yourself, to grow, to endure short-term discomfort for long-term transformation. The richest people you know are not those who indulged in comfort, they are those who cultivated themselves relentlessly, who saw the value of delayed gratification, and who refused to let comfort dictate their destiny. Your future self is waiting. Invest wisely, act boldly, and build a life that reflects the power of your choices today.